Hello Self-Refactor. In this video we're going to build a Python project capable to generate QR code images. So first of all, we need to create a new PyCharm project by clicking in New Project. And then we're going to choose a project name. We're going to say QR code generator, for example. So I'm going to create a new environment using Python Poetry. I like to use Poetry. It's similar to a NPM or Yarn for Node, but for Python. It's incredibly useful for managing projects. So that's going to be the path, and then let's click at create. Okay, so here we're going to have a basic PyCharm project using Python. First of all, I'm going to start by the service layer. So let's create here Python file. I'm gonna call it QR code service. Oh yeah, first of all, we need to install the dependency for generating the actual images. So I'm gonna use Poetry. Since I'm using Poetry, I'm gonna say Poetry add QR code. It's the library name. Just a few seconds. Okay, great. So now I'm gonna build, we're gonna create the main function responsible to receive the string that's gonna be encoded in a QR code image. I'm gonna call it generate image. As a pass for now. What we're gonna need, it's going to be the message, which is going to be a string. We also need to import the library QR code, and then I'm also going to import the library random for generating random names for the file. Okay, great. So now let's create an object responsible to handle the object, which is a QR code dot QR code. These are some parameters from the library version. Error correction, QR code dot the box size is the size of your image. I'm gonna pass here dynamically for now. I was making some experiments and I think that box size equals 20 gave me very good results. But it's up to you to make some experiments and see what works best for you. And the border, I'm gonna pass 4. I'm also gonna attach a description for this library in the video so you can read more about it and make some more experiments. I highly recommend you to do this. QR.addDate is going to be our message. It can be any string that we want to encode as a QR code image. And then QR.make fit equals true. Great. Now this is the object responsible to handle the QR code data for the image, for the final image. And now we're going to create the object itself. QR.make. It's going to be fill color. The color for the image itself. I'm gonna use black, which is the default color, right? And the back color, it's going to be white. Oh, sorry, wrong function. It should be make image. Okay, great. Now the image path. I'm also going to create an utility file with a lot of utility functions to be responsible to manage paths, to the temporary path to your machine and things like that. So I'm gonna create here a file called file utils. So in this file utils, what we need to do, we need to import basically 2 libraries. The OS for managing the operating system, and we need this library called tempfile, which is also a built-in library for Python, so we don't need to install it by yourself. It already came along with your Python installation. So what we need here, we need the function for returning to us the temporary path for your machine. So let's do this. Get temp directory path. So this function from temp file is responsible to return the temporary directory for your machine. It's going to be different on Linux, it's going to be different on Mac, it's going to be different on Windows. So it depends on the machine and the operating system. And then we're going to create our own path or directory inside the temporary folder, just for organization purposes. So let's do this. Project path. It's going to be the os.path.join. So this join function is responsible to join the path for the directory structure. It's going to be different on Unix and Windows. So the temporary folder and our folder name, I'm going to use this as a constant. Project folder name. I'm going to say it is the QR code generator. This is going to be the folder name inside the temporary directory on your machine. Okay, great. Now we need to check if this folder exists on your machine. We can do this by checking if not os.path.exists project path. What you're gonna do, you're gonna use this os.make directories and then pass the project path. There's a small difference between the make directories and the os.make directory. The difference is if you have like multiple paths and subdirectories, the first function can create a nested structure, whereas the mk directory only creates one folder and one level. So then if the path doesn't exist, then we create it, and then we return this path as a result for the function project path. Okay, great. Now we need a function to append the file name inside the directory path, which is going to be def get random file path. I'm gonna pass the file name here and then return the os.path.join, which is going to be the directory path, which is the previous function, and the file name. So let's test this out. I'm going to create a small main entry point here, if name equals main. We're going to say print get random file path. Let's say, for example, my file 123.png, for example. So here you can see that we have a random path inside the random structure for your machine. Okay, great. Let's keep going. Now that we have the basic structure for managing files on the machine, let's go back to the QR code service. So now what we need to do is to import UID for generating random names for files. Let's create our image path. Image path. It's going to be the library that we just created, the function, sorry. From file reduce, import get random file path. So the file name is going to be a random UID. UID with a string of UID.UIDv4 dot JPEG. Now we're gonna save the image, image.save. It's going to be the image path. We're gonna use JPEG in our case. quality, I'm gonna pass 90% for compression. The greater the number, the bigger the image file is gonna be, but the better the quality as well. And the same for the opposite side. Optimize, I have to pass the optimize equals true, and progressive equals true. And then we return the image path. Oh, sorry. Okay, great. So now that we have our code, let's test it out. I also forgot to tell you that in order to make the code work correctly, you will have to install a library called Pillow. So we have to do a poetry add Pillow. I already have it installed, but you have to do this. This library Pillow, it's used internally for managing the image inside this QR code library. Okay, great. So now let's create a small if name equals main here. And then let's test our function. Generate image. Let's pass our string message. I'm gonna use hello self-improver or self-perfecter. And then let's run it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that in order to make it work, we have to see where the image is. I'm gonna make some tests here to see the file path, the image path. So now we can see the path where the image got saved. Let's run it again. Perfect. So this is the file in my machine. So let's open up. Copy this. Let's open a terminal. CD this. Open. Okay, great. Here you can see our two images. The first one that I forgot to print the path, and the second one. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time.